Rasati out here in Singapore. Thank you so much for joining me back on the Night Owl podcast, late at night as always. And you guys, I have been trying to busy myself by listening to more and more podcasts. I've been really leaning towards Mind Valley lately because, I mean, let's face it, I've been a fan of Vishen Lakhiani for a very long time. I've been listening to his podcasts and taken a few of his masterclasses actually, and I'm really intrigued by the kinds of things that he's bringing to the Mind Valley community, mostly because it's cool to me that he's pursuing things that he's interested in, and once he finds an expert that is an expert in a field that he's interested in the first place, then he brings them on as a Mind Valley contributor, and then we get a masterclass. So it's been really cool. I've done the Life Book series. I have done, let's see, I was really taken by, oh goodness, the Donna Eden's energy healing. And let's see, recently I went back and listened to Brendan Kane's A-Fest speech. I thought that was really cool as well. It was really interesting to actually watch and listen as he talked about strategy and clickbait and stuff like that. So there's another podcast coming up later with the subject heading of clickbait, so we can talk about that. But basically, I have been very excited about the kind of work that Vishen Lakhiani is doing with Mind Valley. I've been a fan of Ajit Nawaka, which was his co-creator for Mind Valley as well, and he's done a lot for the business of coaching, and I've learned a lot from him and his wife Nita Bhushan as well. And it just, I don't know, fascinated by the amount of information out there and the different techniques that people are using to be able to get ahead and have a more peaceful and holistic kind of life. And that's so in line with the kind of life I want to lead anyway. So here we go. I've been swept away and totally excited. Now, there is actual term that Vishen Lakhiani mentioned. It is, oh wait, let me make sure I get it right. It is conscious, my goodness, conscious competence. And I thought that was really interesting because I like the idea of the definition that he gave. Now, conscious obviously means that you're doing something with intent, and then the competence meaning that you're actually skilled at something that you're doing. So I like the idea that you can be consciously competent, and that would mean that you are able not only to be very skilled at what you do, but also skilled at teaching what you do. Because a lot of people are really good at what they do, but they can't explain it for peanuts. And it's almost like, well, your skill is going to die with you, which is not helpful at all. I kind of wish that it would be more common for experts to be able to take on, what is that word? An apprentice almost, to be able to teach their skills so the skills continue to live on. Because obviously everything that you've learned is through trial and error and tough love and, trial by fire. And those are hard-learned lessons, so you know exactly what you're doing. You've tried all the ways not to do something in order to find the ways that really work and are effective as well. So when someone is consciously competent, it means that they are able to get down to your level and teach. It's not like professor level classes in grad school where you're maybe not at the level the professor is, but you're stretching yourself. You're trying really hard to be able to get to that place where he's speaking all these high-flown terms and you don't really understand. I've always been taught that a really great teacher can tell a 6-year-old exactly what the concept is in the simplest language because they know it so well. They know it backwards and forwards and inside out, and they can explain it that well that they could teach anyone at any level. So for me personally, with the brand Rasati, with my mental health work, the stuff that I'm trying really hard to teach out there, I'm really trying to make sure that everything that I've learned and that I've applied in my own life, I'm able to teach someone else in the simplest possible terms and to make it as simple as possible for them to apply in their own life so that it's like a practical change. It's not like life altering and you really have to muster up courage every day. It's much smaller than that. It's almost like you just need to be very self-aware. You need to recognize what's going on, and then you have a choice because you know that you can change your behavior. You can adjust what you're doing. You can be the variable that you have control over. You understand? So for me, being consciously competent means that I would be an effective teacher. I know that when we watched the movie The Wedding Planner, they were talking about, those who can't wed plan because they've been in that situation so many times that they've always been a bridesmaid and never a bride, and they feel kind of badly about it, so they plan it instead. Rather than that, I would rather be both bride and planner because I am able to do what I'm talking about as well as teach what I'm talking about. As in, I lead by example and I can tell you exactly what I'm doing and why, because I understand it that well. So for me, consciously competent means that I am true to my word. I am living authentically. I am walking the talk. It is all grit and it is all grace, and I am doing what I've told my clients that they need to be able to do. It's almost the way that I've always been as a supervisor. If I had people that came to work for me or with me or learn under me, what I made sure I did was I never asked them to do anything that I was not already competent or capable of doing. I made sure that I was able to do the work that they would be in charge of in order for me to troubleshoot in case they got lost or in case they got stuck, or I'd be able to teach them from scratch in case they were a new employee, they were coming in my charge, and I would have to teach them something. So in that regard, I had to make all the mistakes under the sun first. I was one of those troublesome employees at the Grand Hyatt where I would constantly mess up my drawer. I would take hours to kind of balance things out and try and figure out where the hell I went wrong. I would misplace paperwork. I'd forget mistakes. I've been through all of that. But it got to a point that I made every mistake that was possible. And then it was flawless to a point that I knew in my sleep what had gone wrong if a specific error came up or if specifically something was missing. So it got to a point where I'd made every mistake possible and I was able to teach as a result and tell them exactly where they'd gone wrong because I'd done it once before them, right? So in that regard, this is the way I want to teach. This is the way my brand is going to be. I want to be consciously competent in everything that I do. That is from my cooking, from my parenting, from my counseling work, to my social media strategies, to the way I build my website, which reminds me I need to finish that up as well. But basically anything that I do, I need to know so well that I can actually explain to people. And if I don't, I need to be learning from someone actively so I can get to that place where I can teach people. So if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. Let me know how you feel about being consciously competent. Do you have a skill set that you're really, really proud of, or something that you've been doing for a long time that because you've been doing it so long, you can no longer get it wrong? You are really that good? I would love to know. Please drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And in the meantime, keep working at your craft. Take pride. They say it takes 10,000 hours before you become an expert. Put in the work, you guys. Get there. I want to see you all as experts in your own life. All right, you guys. I'll call it a night, and I'll catch you again soon.